Here we are. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Alion's Joy today. I am so glad to see you. I am glad to be here with another amazing guest. I love my friends. I love my women. I love interviewing very strong and powerful women. And today we have another guest of that caliber. I have Shari Lueck in the studio with me for Alion's Joy today. I hope you're watching on the Roku, Amazon, Apple TV. Or if you're watching the replay, let me know what you think and send us questions, come in with feedback, etc., etc. I'm gonna call today Building Bridges to Courage, Transformation, and True Love, because that is what this friend is doing. Shari is a best-selling author, a highly sought-after speaker, and the creator of Quantum Harmonics, a game-changing system that empowers visionary leaders to shatter ceilings, transform their trauma into their superpower, and catapult their business to new heights. Rising to the top one of sales leadership in corporate, Shari now uses her expertise as a trained Rapid Transformational Therapy practitioner, a certified NLP Master Practitioner, and a deep student of quantum science to help others disrupt their limits and create true financial freedom and legacy wealth. I love disrupting limits. Through her powerhouse programs, The Edge and Divine Mastery, Shari has guided thousands of leaders to unlock their magnetic presence, aligned with their purpose, and build lasting prosperity. On a mission to ignite a movement of transformation, connection, and love, Shari envisions a future where women's voices are empowered, unity reigns, and oppression is a thing of the past. It's so powerful. Your
Oh,
resume,
yummy.
your bio is so powerful. Welcome, welcome, my friend. I'm so glad to see you here. Glad to have you. I'm starting just with my very first question and throw it out there. Who is Shari Lueck?
Yeah, wow. I'll tell you, that introduction felt like I'm some kind of a celebrity, right?
You are. You
And it
are.
makes me think of, when I was a little kid and my mom would say, in your own mind, right? So
Yeah.
we're all
Yeah.
celebrities in our own mind at some time or another. So thank you
You're a
for
celebrity
having
to
me.
me. I'm
It's
excited to have you.
wonderful to be here. And I just hope that your audience finds some value in what we share together here.
Absolutely.
And who am I? I think you summed it all up well. I'm a multi-passionate, neurodivergent leader that has tasted and can still taste with my eyes closed what concrete feels like face down. And I've risen through the different rings of the ladder and jumped through hoops of fire. And now I'm living really my best life and helping others do the same.
You know what? It is so empowering for women. And this is a television station, a platform for women, not just on several podcasts, but 24 hours, right? Women can watch these shows by other women, by us, giving them and empowering them and giving them some hope, or maybe just kind of get out of this little niche that we're feeling, or this little stuck that we're feeling, and we just need to get out of it. We can always help each other. There's always power. There's power in your past, and I love what you did with it. You're a best-selling author. I want to hear about your book, My Skeletons Have Names, in a little bit. I love that so much, and we have something in common. Started reading your book, and we have something in common. We have this past where daddy was not our real daddy, and it started to become I have the same past, and I wrote about it in my autobiography. And I found out when I was a little girl as well, but old enough to understand that I was kind of lied to. And my word of the past is almost, I think we have the same word of the past. We have the same trauma word. And in my case, that is abandonment.
Mhm.
And when I started reading about your story, I found that so intriguing, because that's just really what we have in common right there. And I think it plays through our life. In my case, it plays through our life to try to prove myself most of the time to the wrong people, right?
Mm.
Just really stepping up to the plate. So tell me a little bit where that started with you.
Yeah.
I know
Oh
you have
my
a long
goodness
corporate
gracious.
history. I know you have raised a
Well, I
family.
didn't know we were going to go right there. I didn't know we were going to go there at all. So,
Oh,
give me
I'm
a
not gonna go there. I'm not
okay.
gonna.
I am always here for any questions. I'm an open book. Obviously, if I wrote a book called My Skeletons Have Names, I clearly shared parts of my past and my background that carried a lot of shame for me for many, many, many years. I mean, decades. And, there's always more opening up. And so I think what you're asking me about, it's really interesting because this is totally unhinged here. Okay. But here's Shari. Um, I was actually just thinking about feeling abandoned and rejected right before I jumped on here. And I was writing about it because those are my two core wounds, abandonment and rejection.
Mhm.
And I know them so well. And I rarely feel them anymore. Like I don't put myself in this situation to even receive that, right? And it took so much work to get there, but it's such a beautiful way to live. And the reality is, when you're running a business online,
Mhm.
okay,
Mhm.
and you're very visible on
Mhm.
all social media, you're a speaker, you're speaking from stages. I mean, come on, I'm talking at Harvard in December. I mean, it's
So
crazy
excited.
stuff going on
Yeah.
in my life.
Yeah.
But there's all this opportunity, and oh, try not to cry here. So we don't do it for the vanity. We don't share online or in public for the vanity, because if we were doing that, we'd be torn to shreds. Okay. That is not why we're here. We do it to get the word out and to hope, or at least why I do it is I really hope to connect with somebody so that they know they're not alone, which is why I actually wrote My Skeletons Have Names in the first place. I wrote it because I wanted other women and men who had had challenging pasts
Absolutely. Yeah.
and challenging circumstances, whether they be by design, by choice, or by chance, that no story is too hard to tell and no story is too hard to hear. And that was really my driving force for sharing. And I continue to put myself out there really just to connect with another person, because you know what? We're all so similar.
Mhm.
We're
Mhm.
all so similar. And
Right.
so the more vulnerability we can share with each other, the more we can show different paths and different ways of thinking and different avenues, I think the more we can elevate in love. And love is what we're here for. We're here to love each other and love ourselves. And I'm going down this wild rabbit hole, so just
No, go.
stay with me for a second.
Yes.
So one of the things I've noticed that I was actually really, I feel it knocking on the door, right, of my heart and of the mind, is there are people in my sphere, in my proximity, in very close proximity, that don't celebrate me. And when I say celebrate, I don't mean I want people to throw a party and, you know, shout whistles, but they don't even acknowledge achievements. And they don't even offer support of, hey, this is really great. And before, like, I don't know, 5 years ago, I would have questioned, like, why? I do this for everybody. I'm everybody's hype girl, right? I do not believe in competition. I believe we are all artists. And
Mhm.
you don't go into an art gallery and say, why is that person's art on the wall? It's distracting from my beauty.
Right, 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 right.
I don't believe that.
Right.
And so I will always support somebody else, even if they do the same exact thing I do. They are not my competition.
Yeah.
And all competition does anyway is validate that you have something of value. You have something that people are interested in, right?
Yeah.
Wearing a hat is sometimes funny. Anyhow,
I love it.
so I started really thinking about that. Why don't people I've paid, or maybe I'm currently paying, why don't they just say, hey, this is really great. I'm so happy to see you thriving. What happens that people go silent when they see you achieving something or doing something that they're quite envious of? And instead of celebrating you, they just go into the shadows. It feels yucky, and it feels like those old feelings of abandonment and rejection, because these are people who I believed I could count on just to see me for the mess that I am.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally know where you're going. Thank you for sharing that and starting with.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. I was this morning, I had the same thoughts. I'm breathing and laughing about it because it's not funny. So I had the same thoughts. I mentioned people in my autobiography, for instance. This was my thought this morning. Went back to vulnerability. It went back to being authentic, trying to be more and more instead of the strong girl, just be myself, my hot myself. And I was thinking about the word expectation that I always try to get away from. Because if I don't expect anything, then I can feel that there's judgment out there, which I know there is. And most of the time, that comes from my own backyard. Exactly like you say, it comes from my own backyard. Even people that I'm trying to be close to, people that I worked with, or people that I'm actually related to, it comes from my own backyard that either there's just silence or absolutely nothing when I'm trying to celebrate. So do I need to find a whole entire new environment to live in with people that are 100% there to love? I got that thought because I was thinking about my book, which came out years ago, just a year after yours. And I was thinking about the people that I mentioned. And the people that I mentioned that were very influential in my younger years did zero react to what.
Well,
Hey,
I would like to really
time
address,
for me.
I would really like to talk about this if we can for a minute.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So it's really interesting when because I think we're thinking about almost two different things, but there's something that you said that has come up now 3 times today, and it's only just a little bit after 1 o'clock Central Time, which is where I am right now. And this has already come up 3 times today. So I feel like it's really important. And that is, we are taught, well, we're taught a lot of things, but one of the things that we're taught is if we give up our expectation, we won't be disappointed. Okay. And I call BS. I call complete BS, because instead what we do, and your show is called Joy, right? So instead what we do is when we chokehold our expectation, our joy light dims, but also we forget how to dream.
True.
And I couldn't dream for 48 years, really.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I'm being really honest, which is really all I know how to do.
Yeah.
Don't you hate when somebody says to you, can I be honest with you? No, please lie to me. I really like it when you lie. Like, honest is all I can do. So if in my brutal honesty, when I think about people that say, drop your expectation, they're saying stop dreaming. But what we know, okay, more than anything else, and I teach Quantum Harmonics, which is a system for really balancing your inner world with your outer success. Okay, it's a proprietary system that I developed. And the first power in it is vision. Okay, and the reason why vision is so important is because if you can't dream without a filter, without being edited, without having just what most people would see as a ridiculous vision, which is just the biggest dream, which should always be expanding, right? You're never going to get any of it, period. Okay. So in this system of humanity that we are conditioned in, we're actually taught, give up your expectation, stop dreaming. All you can do is rely on yourself. People are always going to disappoint you. And then what happens? You start looking for proof. Well, you're going to find it.
Nowhere. Yeah.
You're going to find proof. Okay. Because whatever we look for is what appears, right? It's like you've never seen a yellow Fiat, and all of a sudden everywhere you look, there's a yellow Fiat.
They're all the cars are yellow.
Right. So whatever you're looking for, you're going to find.
Yes.
And So I don't like when somebody says, oh yeah, I'm just going to give up expectation. No way. If I feel personally, if I feel like I need to lower my expectation, that's a signal to me to do two things. One, it's a signal to grow my vision, because it means I'm not anchored in my vision.
Yeah.
Because your vision will carry you through the dungeon. Okay.
There's two different things. Go
And
ahead.
then, right? And then the other thing which you alluded to is, what do I have to do? You have to upgrade your human ecosystem. It is imperative that you upgrade your human ecosystem.
Gotcha.
And that means some people are going to get left behind. And you might be one of those people. So about 6 months ago, it may be a little longer now, my mother sent me, she did not approve of my book. She still does not approve of my book. She still says if I would have let her edit it, she could have fixed my memories. Okay. Now, we all know that nobody experiences the same exact thing the same way. No. Period. So my memories can be 100% accurate, and so can hers.
Yeah.
Okay. It doesn't have to be either or. All right. But she just feels like it makes her look terrible and it's a bad reflection, and then I'm vilifying her. Yeah. And we got through that because I wrote the book in 2019. So I wrote it almost 6 years ago. Yeah. And just about 6 months ago, I started talking online about some of my experiences that are shared in the book. Nothing new. Yeah. And I got an email out of the blue one day, not even a phone call, not a conversation, nothing, that she wanted to end the sham of a relationship and I was no longer alive to her. And it really hurt. Of course it does. Really hurt. And then that started to change. Okay. And it's what we're talking about, upgrading our ecosystem. Okay. Now, let me tell you, there has not been a day since I got that email that I haven't thought about my mother. Okay. I think about her every single day, usually multiple times a day. Yeah. And I usually just want to share something I know she will find extreme joy in. Yeah. Okay. It's something silly I heard somebody say. It's something I saw that made me think of my sister that passed away almost 10 years ago. It's all these things. Okay. And they just have to go away. Right. Yeah. And that was an entanglement. But what I noticed this morning when I was really reflecting on this abandonment and rejection was there's also a freedom that provided for me, that I no longer had to check myself for her approval, because I'm not going to get it. Yeah. Never gotten it. Never. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. Do you have to change your environment? You do. You do. You do. Absolutely. You do. And as we upgrade, the people around us need to upgrade too. Yes. But why is it, do you suppose? So this is really the question I really want to know. Why is it that the people in our closest proximity can't support us? So for instance, something simple that has nothing to do with that. Let's use this recent thing. So I'm speaking at Harvard in December. Yeah. Okay. Wouldn't you think my coach would say, oh my God, that's incredible. I'm really proud of you. Not yet. Not yet is the key word. Right. But see what I'm saying though? Yes. There are things, but a stranger is really happy. Yeah. Yes. Right. But so somebody I've never met is saying, wow, that's really neat. I'm excited to see what unfolds for you. Yes. Yes. I hope I was the first one saying that for you. I'm using it as an example. No, I know, right? I know. Yeah. But there's so different things that going back to that whole framework what I was thinking this morning and sharing with you. And yes, a high expectation for myself, high new dreams and visions, and constantly creating the utmost and the ultimate and the hardest push through. Let's make it work. Dreams for myself, yes.
But where I was, there's different things that I always, when I talk about expectation, the expectations that we think that our friends, family, the ones closest to us, that we think that they have, just like you just said, yay, good for you. I'm so excited, right? All the people on the balcony that I talk about, I always tell my clients, you always have to have people on your balcony, actually only people on your balcony, right? And so the second thing is my expectations of myself that are high. I push through. I want to. I want this. I want that. Just like you're talking about building those bridges to manifest, right? Towards those dreams. The third one is living in the expectation frame that I had as a subtitle on my book, where I got away from living in other people's expectation frame. And I think that's where we are right now, because if they still see you as the girl that they raised, or the girl that they lived with all their life, or the woman that was the first marriage wife, or, I lived in that expectation frame of the perfect picture on the mantle, right? Wisteria Lane, cute family, perfect husband and wife, perfect kids,
Been
perfect.
there, got the t-shirt, got the hat, burned them all. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. That is the expectation framework that I was thinking of, like, whoa, I need to get away from that. I need to get away from what people think that I should be.
So yeah, I'm so glad you dropped that in here, because that's just people pleasing, and all you're gonna do
Yeah.
is miss every mark.
Yes.
Every
Yes.
mark.
For growth.
You won't hit a single one of those markers if you're living for other people's approval.
Now, do you think that some people do not want to go there or dare to go there? I
Go
think
where?
both to step up to the plate and go into growth and self-development and self-mastery and trying to get away from that. I think some people don't want to. And
So,
where they want you.
so what do I really think? I think everybody wants it. I don't think everybody's willing to put their toe in the water.
Or do the work.
Okay. I really believe it, because the system that has conditioned us, I think of the movie The Matrix, it's so perfect, right? But we are conditioned. It's why we are conditioned to do certain things a certain way. Yeah. And especially if you get into the whole evangelical realm, okay, there's so much deconstruction that needs to happen because of the programming there. Okay, so many people have been traumatized and violated, and the reality is, if you only know what you know, it's scary to find out you don't know everything, or that you might have it wrong, because then you have to actually turn around
and start doing some of the work.
Okay, well, you don't even have to do the work if you don't want to, but you can't unsee what you've seen. So, so I think the status quo is what the patriarchy wants. They want the status quo because it keeps us marching in line.
Yeah.
Okay. It's why people like me and you, who have a mouth to be used, and we have sovereignty, and we have generous hearts, it all comes from the right place. I dream of a world where women are no longer oppressed, where violence doesn't exist, and where we don't have to break glass ceilings, where they're just removed. I dream of that world. Well, that means I have to create that world. So how do I create it? By using this mouth. Okay. Well, people don't like it because it scares them. It makes them, oh no, if she thinks it's okay to do X, that means that everything I believe is being challenged. And I don't want to be challenged, because life's good right now. Like, I'm not really happy. I haven't dreamt in 30 years. Can't stand my husband, and my kids don't talk to me. But it's what it is.
Yeah, it
and
is.
So I just need to learn how to accept it.
Accept and adjust and sit with it.
And that's what I'm saying. So do I think people don't want it? No, I think they absolutely want it. I think they haven't gotten the right taste or had the right hand help them through it. Nobody wants to be miserable.
And exactly like you said, is creating so much fear to have to look at something that is new and out there for you. If you were never used, if you never had been introduced to it and you're not used to it, you're conditioned to the max. That creates fear. And I've for years worked with patients that out of that fear came addiction, insecurity,
All
rejection.
of it. I had an
The whole
addiction, and
bit.
my
The
addiction
whole bit.
absolutely came after a neo-Nazi came to kill my kids. Okay. And that created this spiral that sent me reeling. And it was all about fear that I didn't have control over my children's lives.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And I was afraid. And so instead of looking at what was I really afraid of, which all is still abandonment.
Sure. Absolutely.
Okay, still
Absolutely.
abandonment. But what was I really afraid of? This thing grew into this ugly monster. Okay. And then
But
we
you
make
became aware of it.
excuses.
But you became aware of it. You acknowledged it at some point.
Absolute. I was aware of it as it was going on, which is why I know when you say, do people want it
Yeah.
or not? Okay. I was aware all along. Uh, things weren't the way they were supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
The challenge was I didn't know what supposed to look like anymore.
One of my first questions for my clients, I know what you don't want, but you do not know what you do want.
Exactly.
So many women, just like we talk about, are stuck in that deep hole and do want something and know that there's something out there. But you have to kind of know how to describe the alternative, or at least give it a little sense of. I would love
Well,
my.
I didn't know. Can I challenge you there?
Yeah.
So when I had my huge breakthrough, because that's what it was for me, like everything for me is big. I don't stumble into anything. Okay. Like, big. And so when I had my first big breakthrough, I was 48 years old. And literally overnight, everything changed. And it's really interesting because right up until that point, I had no idea what I really wanted. I just knew I hated the way I felt and I didn't like my life.
Yeah.
I literally had no vision for the future. And when that crack happened, okay, and that yolk started like seeping out, I went back to dreams that I had from when I was young, much younger. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Not a kid younger, but in my 20s, early 20s, about what I wanted to do and how I wanted to teach and how I was going to facilitate this thing. And it wasn't at all who this version of Shari wanted.
Right.
It was what I had inside. But I started to go forward in whatever weird maze I was getting trapped in. But I had to commit to continuing the search of self.
Yeah.
So I could find my purpose and my calling.
And what the calling and the why really was. And that's why people come to us to
It
fill
is
that in, to fill that in and to find the answers for that.
because it's easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
just need somebody to crack
Yeah.
the egg.
Yes. Yes.
This is such a meaningful, deep conversation. My
It
gosh.
is, but I like that. I like I'm done with the nail
I
polish.
love depth. You bring me depth. I mean, the people, my favorite clients,
Mm.
and I love all human beings, but I'm not for everybody and everybody's not for me. Okay.
Yeah.
But I love them and I want good and I will help them however I can. But if I was to pick, like, who are my favorite people to work with, right? They are incredibly intelligent, meaning not that they're smart, because people qualify
Oh,
that in different ways, okay? But they think faster than the people around them. They can predict things in movies before they happen. They have this really heightened sense of bizarreness.
yeah,
They have
yeah,
a fast, so they're super ambitious. People like that like solving problems and puzzles, and
yeah,
they're super ambitious.
yeah.
And they have a witty sense of humor because because why not, right?
Love it, yes.
Because why not?
Yeah.
And they have this inner belief that if somebody else can do it, so can I. So let me get out there and get it done.
Yeah.
Those are probably my favorite kind of people because they're my people.
Yeah.
Because that's how my brain works, right?
Absolutely.
But I hate being called strong. I hate it because I'm strong because I had to be, not because I chose it.
Right.
And underneath this thick rhinoceros skin and this horn that I show everybody to keep myself safe, I'm just a ball of mush.
I think we all are.
Yeah.
If we truly embrace that as well, that part of us. I
Yeah.
come from the generation where, and especially with the loss of my parents at an early age, I just came from the generation where you just don't talk about your stuff, right? And you don't bring it up, and you just move on and break through and step forward and step in and shut up. Excuse
Yeah.
my language, my listeners. But yeah, was really into that framework that I felt at some point just strangled. Is that the word? Strangled. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We cannot just constantly be strong and constantly be the one and constantly keep
You
up.
felt trapped.
I love to say now that I just made so many mistakes that I can finally help somebody else with the same because I did it all wrong and I now know
You didn't do anything wrong.
better. Isn't that
See,
great?
but I don't think you did anything wrong. I don't think I did anything wrong. I always did the best I could do with the information I had at hand. Like I never became a drug addict because I thought, geez, this is really going to screw up my life. Let's go hard.
No.
That was
Yeah.
never the thought. The thought was, oh, let me try this. Yeah. Oh, that took away the pain. That was nice. I'm going to do that again.
True.
Okay. I don't believe you made a single mistake. You're here. We are all here just to learn and grow. And the way we get there hurts sometimes.
Out of that little girl abandonment, right? Out of that trauma word came some choices that maybe we're not proud of, or maybe we are,
But they were the best
guilt, but it's not.
choices. But still, I would still say at the time, if you could have made a better choice, you would have. So it had to be an okay choice. Otherwise, you wouldn't have made that choice. Nobody goes into it saying, geez, this is really going to hurt me. I'm going to screw up my kids. And my mother's never going to talk to me again.
Yeah.
Why would I do that? Like, that sounds horrible.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm with you on that. Absolutely. So I'm not guilty, but I still like to say jokingly.
Yeah, but your words matter. But your words matter. So I would say, how about if you say something different? How about if you say, I'm gonna take my hat off. How about if you say, you know what? How about if you say, I'm really glad I'm done with that.
Oh, yes. Yes. Good. I am long time ago.
I'm really glad that I'm done with that. And geez, looking back, I did the best thing I could do at the time. The information I have today, I'd make different choices, right? But I didn't have that information then. And if you would have made one different choice, we wouldn't be here right now. I don't wish I would have made a single different choice. I love my life so much. And I love myself so much. And I never imagined those words would come out of, I don't know if I've ever said them out loud. I love myself so much that if I had to walk through the pits of hell, blindfolded, forward and backwards a few times, I would do it again, knowing that this is where I'd end up.
Yeah. Yeah. But you did so much to get to that place. And I mean that with respect.
Yeah, I know, but that's why I'm saying, but would I have even had the vision to do the work? Would I have even had the idea? Because what people don't get is you don't have to feel your pain to heal it. To feel it to heal it is an old way of keeping people stuck at talk therapy. Okay. You don't have to feel it to heal it. You have to face it, but you don't have to revisit the trauma. You don't have to go through it again, and you get to resolve it so that you become neutral. And when I learned that, everything changed.
Yeah, I love that about you.
I love everything about you.
I love everything about you, and it changed in beautiful you. I
Mm.
love it. Let me talk a little bit. I want to talk a little bit, and we'll bring it out of the heavy here. Ah, just taking a deep breath and bring it out of the heavy. And we're going
Let's
down
go.
sunlight the whole afternoon.
Ooh.
What is Harvard going to expect? Because I'm so super excited. Super
Oh,
excited. Super
yeah. So it's a
excited.
TEDx style talk.
Yeah, is it you're going to talk to them all?
It's a big group of people and it'll be filmed. And yeah, and I'm actually, unless something changes, because I'm always open to something changes. Basically the topic is your circumstances do not define your tomorrows.
Amen. Nice. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Because
they,
I shouldn't be standing here today, yet here I am. And there
yeah,
was a night that I took a bottle of sleeping pills and a fifth of vodka, and I shouldn't be here.
yeah,
And with no intervention, I woke up on my bedroom floor the next day.
yeah. There was a purpose for you.
And so, and so, that wasn't because of luck.
Mhm.
Okay, but my tomorrows weren't supposed to end there. And so I think it's really important to share a little bit of how I was able to do that. And I think people will be interested as well because it's very empowering. And of course, I'll share some of the quantum harmonics
Yeah.
and how shame's a liar. And
I love it so much because I think that our younger generation they are more aware, they're more mental health informed than we were back to my younger years where you just don't talk about it. They were definitely they definitely need to hear so many different ways that they can think, they can learn to think, they can be
well,
inspired,
look, I
they
think
can find that.
old people need to hear it too.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the reality is, what would change? I'm going to kind of leave this thought with you, and I know we're getting close to the end, but really, I'm going to leave this with you and your audience. What would change that instead of waiting, you made one bold choice today, right now, to rewrite tomorrow? And I don't want an answer. Just
Yeah.
that's really what would change if you made one bold choice today, right now, to rewrite your tomorrow.
I love that. I'm gonna leave it there because that is your wisdom sentence, not your wisdom words for today for the audience. I
Thank you
love
so
it so
much.
much. I need
So
to know
beautiful.
where we can find you. I need a little bit. I have a few minutes. We need a little bit about um, your program. Where can people
So
find you?
yeah, so I
Just
don't
work
really
with
want
you.
to talk about me or my program,
Where can we find you?
but you can find me on every social media platform there is. Shari Lueck, ShariLueck. And My Skeletons Have Names is my book. I am writing a second book on quantum harmonics and how you align your inner world with your outer success. Because my skeletons might have had names, but my body has all the power. And so
Yeah.
does yours. And so if anybody wants to get in touch with me, it's easy. Just Google me.
And I will put the links.
I
I will
love
put
you.
the links in all the social media and in all the replay and everything. Thank you so much, beautiful you, for appearing today as a guest on my show.
What
Thank you
an
all for
honor.
listening to Allianz Joy. Thank you for being here today live, or thank you for listening to the replay in the future. Let us know, find us, give us some feedback, challenge us with more and interesting, amazing conversations. Thank you, beautiful one. Thank you, Gary, for being here today as my guest, and I will see everybody next week.